Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for your time today in this webinar. My name is Octavio Cadena. I represent Skymera. I'm a sales director and business development. And we're going to be talking today about radio coverage. How do you extend your radio coverage? But more important, how to use networks like satellite networks and any other type of network to achieve this purpose. So before I start, one of the things that I would like to do is go through some of the uh, questions and recording that we're going to be doing. So any questions that you guys have, if you folks have, please feel free to submit it. There is a little button on the top that has a question mark. You can submit a question over there. We're going to answer all the questions at the end of the webinar. If you don't get your question, or if we don't have time to get to your question, please send me an email. That's my email address, cadena.o@skymera.com. And we're going to send also a recording in a few days so you can rewatch the presentation or pass it among your people. So to begin with, let me start with, we talk about coverage, and this is one of the things that I wanted to capture first, which is what is the problem that is caused by having a bad coverage? And as doing a double click on this thing, I found out that there are safety risks. Obviously, without proper communications, crews may work on energized lines and that they believe that they are de-energized, and dispatchers may inadvertently energize lines while crews still working on them. So obviously, this is a safety risk. Uh, Service reliability issues. Members experience longer outage durations when crews can efficiently coordinate restoration. More important, the dispatchers, they lose visibility of what the field conditions are or what is going on while they're doing the repairs. Third point is operational inefficiencies. As resources get misallocated when dispatch lacks real-time information, they don't know where they're located, they don't know their availability, and sometimes they get sent to different locations, and that obviously delays the repair. Regulatory and legal exposure. Obviously, these can trigger regulatory scrutiny whenever you don't have the emergency response procedures set by entities. Member relationship relations impact, and this is in regards to every time you extend your outage and you provide poor information. Obviously, the people that is being served, it is going to have dissatisfaction and obviously lose trust. Last but not least, and I think this is one of the ones that hurts the most, is the financial consequences, because obviously inefficient restoration process increases over time costs and equipment expenses. Now, touching a little bit on this, on the financial consequences, I wanted to talk a little bit about those coverage gaps in terms of timing. So, as I was talking to several co-ops and bigger utilities, they spend a lot of time trying to talk back whenever they go and do a repair. One of them, for instance, one of the, I'm not going to mention the name, but one of the things that they were doing is that it took them 35 minutes to 1 hour to go to a place where he can have coverage and call back, for support and everything. So I got a little curious over here, and I started asking a little questions. One of them is, how much do you spend? I mean, what is the cost per hour on a line crew truck? And the response that I've been getting from customers and from industry reports is between 150 to $450, and this is including everything: labor, equipment, vehicles, materials, etc. You name it. It is everything that is involved in this thing. Things that we don't see immediately, we don't perceive immediately, but this is what it costs for 1 hour of having that truck moving, trying to search for coverage. Second thing is that I was thinking, well, if you spend just 1 hour per month searching for this radio coverage, your annual cost loss that you're going to be getting is between 1,800 to 5,400. That is per truck per hour, and this is per month, right? So if you have a fleet of 15 vehicles, you're talking about 27,000 to 81,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that is just trying to search and look for the proper coverage when something happens. And we're not talking about an emergency. This is on the day-to-day operation. Obviously, whenever it's an emergency, this can multiply and go, higher, right? But one of the things that we're going to be doing during this webinar is we're going to show you how Scamira can provide you that coverage solution that is going to give you more, that actually is going to pay for themselves, if you will. Everything that you are spending over here, it is going to be, if you take the 150 per truck per hour, it is something that is going to be enough to cover for the solution that we're going to be providing you with. So let me start with, how do we come up with this thing? How do we design this solution? And the design of the solution started interviewing a lot of customers during more than 30 years that I've been in the industry. And this is talking to emergency responders, government, firefighters, utilities, and mostly radio users. And the very first thing, whenever I talk about creating a reliable critical communication system, the very first challenge that they have, they all come up with coverage. And most of the time is, I don't want to replace my whole system. I want something that I can augment what I already have, and that can work whenever there is, a situation where there is not enough coverage, and I can do a failover. I can use this one as a failover. Second thing that they mentioned, and this is right now we've been getting a lot of weather situations and weather emergencies, is interoperability. And whenever you have this an emergency, a major emergency, you're going to have multiple agencies, multiple co-ops, multiple networks, FEMA, and everybody else, and everyone has a different network. Everyone has a different way of communicating. So coordination at the spot is in the midst of chaos is key. That takes us to the other one, which is, okay, now, we have different networks, and also we have different type of radios. So even there are some systems that are P25 systems used by police or by FEMA, and even within P25, if they don't have the same brand, it is not going to be able to. They are not going to be able to talk to each other. So that's another area that people is concerned about. The fourth one is in regards to location. I want to know where, and we just saw it over there in one of the consequences of having a bad coverage is, I want to know where my people is so I can guide them to the proper place. This is for safety and coordination. And the other one also is the ability to do a fast deployment, the ability to turn it on within 5-10 minutes. And that is one of the things also that is being mentioned as a challenge, if you will, whenever you're doing critical communications. Now, all of these, they sound great. That is perfect, but there is also one extra requirement that it was contemplated, is that we want a way to manage all of them. Not just, yeah, you can do this thing, or there are solutions that do one thing or the other, but can you come up with one that can manage all of them? And that is precisely what we're going to be showing you. So we talk about the Starlink, we talk about the satellite communications on our invitation, and let me just introduce you a little bit into the satellite, on what it is and how it is perceived, if you will. Whenever you go into satellite, first thing that comes to mind is those now phones that have the ability of talking over satellite, or those tethering devices, or those phones, satellite phones and everything. That's nice. That's very good. Is excellent technology. However, what happens whenever you are on the top of a pole, for instance, and I don't know if you can see on the top of a pole with your gloves, you're not going to be removing the gloves so you can get your phone and unlock the screen. By the way, your hand is wet, and start to looking into who I'm going to be talking, what is the application that I had, and then press the PTT and talk. That is something that is not useful. More, you are over there in the middle probably of nowhere. How you're going to be doing that thing? So one of the things that I want to say is those satellite devices are really good, but they serve a purpose, and it's not the purpose of critical communication, of business continuity, of professional communications. For that, we have purpose-built devices. And these purpose-built devices are the radios. regular radios. So people communicate with radios; they know exactly how they work, and that is one of the key emphasis that I want to make over here. And is, you know, critical communication users, they know and they trust the way they use their handsets. If there is an emergency, in the middle of an emergency, the first thing that they know what to do is squeeze for PTT. That's the thing that they do immediately. If you change the way you do this thing, you may cause confusion on them. So any good communication solution should not interfere with the way you're used to communicate. In the middle of an emergency, in the middle of a chaos, uh, people is not going to start or learning, trying to learn something new and trying to know what application I have, or how to. I need to point to the sky so I can get communication. No, they are going to try to communicate the way they are. So one of the things that we focus on, and we're going to be talking today on the solution, is how we provide that seamless switching without interfering or replacing your actual communication, your actual radio communication, the ones that you're using right now. So basically, one of the things that we do is we provide push to talk continuity for purpose-built devices. This is behind the bar, is not in front, right? So let me talk a little bit about coverage, because with everything sounds really nice and really cool and everything. So how this works? So let's say you have a radio system. A radio system, it is purpose built. It is designed to cover certain area. And yes, you are going to be able to have that coverage. Your coverage though is limited. And unless you have a lot of money, you can have a lot of repeaters and extend the way all the area that you want. But you're limited on coverage. So your portable handset has certain coverage, your vehicular has a little bit more coverage, and your repeaters are going to extend your coverage even further. Now, whenever you reach an area that needs to go further, people go with a cellular, and that's fine. That's perfect. However, cellular, it is designed to cover cities and to cover areas that are populated, if you will, not necessarily the areas where the poles are or the grid is constructed, or those remote areas that we have to, some of our customers are located at. So that is one of the problems that cellular has, and that's where satellite comes in. So each one of them has good things and bad things. I'm not going to talk about the bad and the good of each one of them, but I want to talk about this thing. What if what if you could actually use the three of them? Use the three of them whenever you feel you need to use the three of them. That way, using radio, and whenever radio fails, go to cellular, and whenever cellular fails, go to satellite. That's to be total coverage. You're going to have coverage anywhere. Mhm. Let me give you an example. Florida. Let's say a hurricane comes and suddenly knocks out all the communication and towers and whatnot. So you're going to have spotty coverages. Some of them radio, some of them cellular, not connected, all of them as silos. Very first thing that Sky PTT, our solution, does is going to allow you to communicate among them, create nodes. That way, the person that is located, let me see if I can get my mouse here. The person that is located over here is going to be able to talk to the person that is located over here, or the person that is located over here. So you're going to be able to talk to each other even though you're separated and you have different networks. Now, what happens to the person that is over here in the middle where there is nothing? Well, that's where satellite kicks in. With satellite, you have all that coverage. And the nice thing is that it can go from one to another one as communication becomes available. That is what this solution does in a nutshell. So let me go into a little bit more detail, do a double click on this. Let's say you have the way you communicate right now, the way you have your communication is you have your vehicle with your radio, your antenna, and you have your portable handsets, right? They communicate among each other, And over here, in this case, from the fixed side, I cannot communicate with the vehicular because there is a mountain in the middle. So they're totally remote place. So the very first thing that we do is we outfit the vehicle. And the way we outfit it, I'm going to go with the basic, is we put a Starlink antenna on top of it. Mhm. We have our gateway, and we connect our gateway to your radio system, the existing radio system. We don't replace anything. We just augment what you have. What is going to happen over here is, and well, I'll tell you exactly in a second what is going to happen. But that is the only equipment. I mean, obviously with accessories and everything that you put, power and all that kind of stuff for the installation. But these are the two main hardwares that you will put in a vehicle. Now, on your fixed side, same thing. We put a gateway, and we put, it could be satellite, it could be LTE, or it could be your LAN or fiber. As long as we have IP, it works, because what we do is radio over IP. And the way it works is we're going to take the audio of your radio and we're going to transform it into IP. Once it is IP, that's the way it goes through our solution. So when it lands over here in this side, what is going to happen is that it's going to do the opposite. It's going to translate that audio digital into analog, so you can listen to it. Now, if your vehicle, for instance, one of the cases that we had in, I don't know if you guys have seen the publication that we did with Missoula. Missoula had a modem, an LTE modem. So what we do is we connect your existing LTE modem, and actually, if you have also the Starlink minis, we can also connect to that ones. I mean, it's not that you have to replace what you have. If you already have your satellite antenna or you already have your LTE modem, we can use those, and we just adapt to that. So what is going to happen? If you have an LTE modem, LTE becomes your priority. When it fails, when there is no coverage, it will go through Starlink. And the way it's going to work is your portable radios that are over here are going to talk to the local radio that you have. We take the audio from here and rebroadcast it via satellite or via LTE to your fixed site. So in this case, think about as if you were to have a repeater in your vehicle, right? The distance between your vehicle and your portable is about 2 to 3 miles. That is about 40 football fields. That's having line of sight. That's what you will have. It's in a simplex mode and a simplex frequency. More important here is that you also will have GPS. That is the features that you get whenever you get the Sky PTT solution. And that feature of GPS is that you can send emergency. But emergency is not just going to arrive over here. You're also going to get the location of a unit that has the emergency and the ID of the unit. So you will know exactly what unit has the problem. You can do geofencing, you can do tracking, etc. Now, let me show at a glance how this thing will work. So let's say this is your system, where you're working. So you have your radios. This is your system, and you have certain area of coverage with your radio. So your coverage, it is fine, good for the city or good for the area that you already predefined. Now, what happened whenever you have to go to places where there is not connectivity between your trucks and your main dispatch center? So they are going to have coverage locally. Probably if they get close enough from vehicle to vehicle, they're going to be able to talk. But they have their own, silo, if you will. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to outfit them. And we have two different configurations over here, vehicular configuration and a Go kit. Obviously, one thing that I forgot to put over here is the fixed configuration. So we have a fixed, vehicular, and Go kit. Whenever you put those three, you're going to totally change the way your communication behaves, because now, and what is going to happen is they're going to transmit via either LTE or via satellite back to your dispatch center. So that is nice. Your dispatch is going to be able to hear. But look over here by the dispatch, what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect my gateway to the local radio. And what is going to happen with this is that every single thing that these portables from areas that are like hundreds of miles or thousands of miles away are going to be able to talk to the ones that are over here in the local coverage. And that is, one of the configurations that we can do with our solution. This is similar to what Missoula had. The problem that they had is that they were under this situation, whereas they have the local coverage and everything, but they were not able to connect back to this to the dispatch, and we saw the consequences of having that thing. So what Missoula is doing this. They are able to communicate now back over there with their system. Now they're able to talk, without any problem. Now here's another nice feature, and as because both either if you have an LTE router or a satellite antenna, you're going to be able to have a bubble of Wi-Fi. So that bubble of Wi-Fi is going to give you data to run tablets, do Wi-Fi calls, whatever you think or you want to do, you're going to be able to do it. And for instance, again, going back into the Missoula case, they use tablets to do the reports, to fill out the reports and everything. So they decided you can decide to go with or without LTE. They were paying for LTE modems. They decided to remove the SIM cards from LTE modems and hook up everything to Starlink. So now what they're doing is that they're using Starlink for the Wi-Fi and getting their tablets connected via Wi-Fi locally. They can fill out the forms and go all the way back to the dispatch. And whenever the trucks are parking into the garage, they actually get the Wi-Fi of the garage. Uh, another good thing over here is that they also have location. So there's GPS location and tracking. They can know exactly the route that the truck did or that the truck took, and also if there is an emergency, they immediately will know what is going on and how is this thing. Now, let me add something more over here. You can even have drones because you have high speed internet over there in your vehicle. It's like having your office. Uh, you're bringing the network with you, and this is the thing that I want you to actually look into it. Look at the power that each vehicle has. It becomes a node. It becomes a total network contained solution that goes anywhere and can connect to anyone. That is the power of this solution. Now, one of the things that a lot of our customers are concerned is congestion, channel congestion. So one of the things, some of the things that we do is we can create talk groups on top of whatever solution you have already installed. So for instance, if I have my base and a couple of trucks and a go kit, one of the things that is going to happen is, okay, I want to talk to each one independently, or perhaps I want to have a talk group. A talk group with us, the base can communicate with truck one, and truck two can communicate with the go kit. So these are two talk groups that I have in my system, totally independent. Each one talks to each other. Now, if I similar to what I showed you in the previous slide, if I put that little connection over here between my gateway and my radio system, these radios are going to be also part of a talk group. Mhm. And I can do also a talk group that includes everyone. And if you put everyone on that thing, nice features is, you can have over here one unit that is, let's say, is in VHF, another one that is in another system, UHF, or another co-op that is in a different frequency that is over here, and you're able to communicate all of them. You're able to put them all together into a talk group. So you have interoperability, unlimited and multiple talk groups per terminal. You can have as many as you want. There is no license, not FCC license or special frequency permits that you need. And the more important thing is you create the talk groups. These are private. You're not going to have any interference. Everything it is encrypted. So those channels are not going to be congested. I was talking, and I know I've been talking about the fix, the vehicular, and the Go kit. These are the three different configurations that we have. So first one again is the in-vehicle, second one is the Go kit, and third one is the fixed. The vehicle, as I mentioned, you have the gateway that connects to your radio, that can connect to an LTE modem, that can connect directly to a satellite antenna. An important thing over here is if you decide, you can do as many combinations as you want. You may want to use the gateway alone without any radio. It has a microphone, so you don't need the radio if you need to. You may want to use only LTE, or you may want to use only satellite and or satellite and radio, or satellite and LTE and radio. You do the combination that you want. And as you can see, each one of them has exactly the same. So on those three cases, you can do all the combinations that you want. This is like Legos. You play with it and you assign it and you customize it according to your specific need. Now let me go one step forward over here with the solutions that we provide. So this is the Go Kit. And one of the beauty things that the Go Kit has, it has different configurations, but it has the capability also to connect multiple radios. So I can do a donor radio of one, let's say, of one electric co-op, and probably I want to connect with FEMA. So FEMA, they give me a radio, I connect the radio over here, and what is going to happen is that I'm going to create a local group between FEMA and my electric co-op, so they can talk and they can coordinate. Mhm. The way it looks like, this is in real life the way it looks like. You see over here, the best thing is that they don't have to be in the same frequency. They don't have to have the same uh, protocol, if you will. It could be different. One, it could be encrypted. One, it cannot be encrypted. So I have over here, for instance, a Kenwood radio talking to an L3 Harris, talking to a Motorola, each one P25, each one in different frequency, each one with different encryption keys. But what I'm taking out of them is just the audio, and I'm patching that audio. Mhm. I'm making them talk. Plus, with the Starlink here, I'm making that audio go all the way to whatever I want to send it. So it becomes part of a node. And I'm going to show you this thing in a second. So these are the configurations that we have with this. I mean, the size of it, the Go Kit, it is so small that you can fit in the overhead bin in an airplane. And this one weighs about 37 pounds. So it's not that heavy, and it is easier transportable. Um, as I mentioned, there are different configurations on the Go Kit. One of them is augment, and this is you carry a Go Kit, and there is one cable that can connect to one radio. This is an external radio. The other one is we can have one with an internal radio. You see this one that I have over here on the left, it has the radio embedded over here. So you communicate with the Go Kit via RF. The Go Kit, by the way, I forgot to mention, it has 12 volts, so you can plug it into the cigarette light adapter or even a battery pack. It is a 12 volt, the way it works. The third configuration that we have is multi-radio. This is the one that we're showing over here, whereas you have three radios that can connect and talk to each other and connect to the system that you want to connect. I'm going to show you that thing in my next slide. And the complete one, which is this one that has the three radios, it has the internal radio, that has all the communication included. That's the whole thing on the Go Kit. Now, how this is going to be looking like at a glance, the whole Sky PTT. So over here, as you see, I have the Go Kit and I have it with the multiple radios. These can be a node that talk to this one, that talk to this one. And because all of these have internet and all of these have probably devices, they can actually see the location of the other guys. I mean, if they have One of the things that we offer is multiple ways of watching the location. So if you have a cellular, you can actually see where the other unit is located or the feeding that the drone is sending. So you can think about 1,000 ways of communicating. You have a network in your vehicle that is coming with you at all times, wherever you go. That's the power of this solution. So at the end of the day, SkyPTT, what it provides, it is designed, number one, to address all the communication challenges. Again, we're talking about using multiple networks. It augments your radio and data coverage. It's not going to be replace everything, but augmenting what you already have. It is compatible with all radio brands. We can connect to any radio, interoperable with any network, LMR, LTE, satellite, secure AES-256. This is encrypted, so no one is going to be interfering your communication. It's cross-banding capability, so I can talk one band VHF to P25 to, it doesn't matter what you have, UHF. I can talk from one to the other one. Even military radios, if I need to, and in an event that I need to connect with the National Guard or something like that, I can do that thing. GPS location and tracking, data capabilities like LTE and satellite. I'm going to have that bubble in my vehicle. And as I was mentioning, it has 12 volts and it has the capability of connected into a battery. So with this one, I just want to show my last slide. I know we're doing good on time, and we're going to have plenty of time for questions. I know it is a lot of information, but I try to summarize it in a way that you can see all the benefits that we provide with our solution. So we talk in one of the slides at the beginning about the things not communicating within 1 hour. What is the cost of 1 hour of not talking? Between $150 and $450. That's the cost of trying to communicate, trying to search for signal. But what are the benefits of actually being able to communicate on the spot? And I'm going to start with increased safety, regulatory compliance, immediate emergency response. We have cases. Reason why I put this slide is we were told by hearing the story of one of the electric cops that there is a road. I think it was Montana, if I'm not mistaken, but there was a road that every time vehicles go over there, they said 6 or 7 out of 10 times the vehicles will fail over there, and they actually rescue someone because they were able to communicate, because they have no ways of talking. That area it has no way of communicating back, and because they had a satellite radio, they were able to locate them. But there's some very very dangerous places, and I heard a lot of stories, and I know you guys have probably a lot of stories too. But these are some of the benefits also that you get with uh, the solution, SkyPTT solution. Uh, with this, I finish my presentation, and I'm going to open for questions. If you have any question, please, you have a button over there with the question mark, and we can start getting. So I have one question over here. It says, do you get internet access from the vehicles? Yes, you do. You get internet access from the vehicle. The other question is, can I have different channels? Yes, you can have different channels also. As I mentioned, it is unlimited, the number of channels that you can get. As long as you can have one per one each truck individual, but also individual channels. What is the distance between radios and trucks? That's between 2 to 3 miles. It's going to depend on the terrain, but it's going to be between 2 to 3 miles, 40 football fields. Then is another question is, how many radios can talk through the truck with a SkyPTT? So the beauty of this solution, if you have 20 radios, and let me get back to this slide. If you have over here 20 radios. These 20 radios can talk through the gateway, not a problem. And you know that the coverage is going to be between 2 to 3 miles. So the radios that are around that vehicle becomes your repeater. You're bringing the network to them. And can I talk to a radio with a different frequency? Yes, you can. As I mentioned, actually, not only locally. I mean, like for instance, whenever you use the Go kit, you can have one radio in one frequency and the other radio in another frequency. But also, this one can be VHF or one co-op. This one can be another co-op, and this one can be a third one. And each one on their different frequencies, you can talk to each other. You decide the way you want to put the groups. That's I believe that's going to be the most difficult part, doing the whole group and channel communication. But you can talk to anyone, as long as you map it. Now, if by any chance I forgot to add this one over the air, whoever is managing the communication can actually tie them together. They can put it together over the. It has they call it a dynamic regrouping. You can actually create those groups on the spot. And you don't need to bring the unit back. It's over the air. Do I have any other question? Well, seems that there are no more questions. If you think about, do you have something over there, Christina? Any question from your side?
I think we're all set.
Okay, so if you have questions or you think about something, here is my email address. You can shoot me an email, and we can jump into a presentation and go more in detail, more in depth. Again, this webinar is more to show you a little bit of the capabilities of what you can do while connected to Starlink and what it does with your radio system, which is increasing that coverage that you have. Thank you again for your time, and hope to see you all soon.